Joanne Thomas, Usdaw General Secretary, moving the motion on guaranteed hours. Conference, the Employment Right Bill being introduced to Parliament within the first 100 days of government wasn't just an incredible achievement, it was a line in the sand. A line between the despair brought by 14 years of Tory rule and hope brought by this Labour government, and we drew that line together, trade unions and the party that we created. And it all marked a new beginning for employment rights, new protections at work, a stronger voice at work, and crucially, more security at work. Conference, the members that I represent in retail and distribution are hard-working people. They serve their communities and their jobs matter. And yet too often they are treated like they don't matter. From one week to the next, their hours can change at the whim of their employer. They can be working 10 or 20 hours over their contracted hours every single week. But those hours can be taken away without any notice. And those hours count for nothing when people are trying to get a mortgage or take out a loan. They can't plan their finances, their childcare or their lives, and they are constantly worried about whether they'll be able to pay their bills. Conference, we all know that is no way to live. The Employment Rights Bill will bring in the right to a contract that guarantees the number of hours that you regularly work, and we've campaigned really hard for this and are delighted that it's now to become law. But as always, the devil is in the detail, and the secondary legislation will decide exactly who benefits from this right. We have no doubt whatsoever about who it should be applied to, because it was written down in black and white in the plan to make work pay. Labour promised it would apply to everyone, and we campaigned on that promise. But now there is a risk that this promise will be diluted. The right could be limited to only cover workers who are contracted on a low number of hours, meaning millions of workers will miss out. This is causing unintended consequences, because if the right only covers a select group of workers, who do you think the employer will offer the overtime to? They'll offer it to the people who aren't entitled to get it guaranteed in their contract. Of course they will. And it means that the people on the lowest hour contracts, the lowest paid workers, and by the way, more likely to be women, more likely to be disabled workers, more likely to be black workers, will miss hours on their need to live on. This won't just undermine the new right, it would actually make some of the most vulnerable workers even worse off than they are now. And Conference, this might sound complicated, but to the government I say the solution is a simple one. Just do what we said we were going to do. Provide guaranteed hours for everyone, security for everyone, fairness for everyone. And I'm proud that in the face of anti-worker opposition from reform, the Tories, the Lib Debs and the bad bosses, this Labour government stood strong. It stood behind a plan to make work pay, and it stood up for working people. Now we need to push to make this a reality. Conference, let's make sure that this doesn't just belong to government, doesn't just belong to the unions, it belongs to every single worker. Thanks.
Thank you very much.